This conference will now be recorded.
So you can just when I'm doing, you can do the same thing, and we can continue with the classes. Any doubts, you can ask me in the class. And one more thing is, yes, attendance is compulsory. I agree, you have other things and it's an online class, but yes, there will be a link between the first class and the second class. So if you miss the previous class, you do not understand what you are doing in the current classes. So there will be no backup class, or no. I agree. You might ask me, you'll be having recordings, but it is not the similar when you're in a live class and then you see the recording and then do it. It's not similar. And so that is why you have to attend the class. And the one more thing I told you, I'm repeating it once more, that you must log in with your names. I do not find your complete name, you will be marked as absent. This is very much important, where you have to log in with your real name. I don't want Win K and those things to be I mean give your name, so that it will be easier for me and you don't lose your attendance. So this is the point which I wanted to clear. So before we start with our practicals, before we go to what is Tally, or how do you start with Tally, or how do you download with Tally, first we'll just brush up with some of the basic concept of accounts. I know you already, these things what I'll be telling in further, the basic of accounts is all, we are very similar with those topics, but those are important because you know these basic things, and then it is easier for you when you're doing with your practicals. So that is the reason today's class will be having a basic about just a brush up on accounts. It is all similar topics which you already know about it. So those are the topics which we'll be taking into. So maybe some question answer thing we can do. I want you to nominate yourself. So what is accounts? Anyone? I'm audible or not?
Ma'am, it's bookkeeping of day-to-day transactions.
Okay. Anyone?
Ma'am, accounting refers to summarizing recording of all the transactions of the business.
Good.
Ma'am, recording the day-to-day transactions.
Okay. Anyone? You don't have to specify me the definition of accounts. I just want you to tell me what is accounts. Whatever everybody is telling is right. Any more?
Ma'am, it's like
Income,
keeping the records of all the financial transactions, whether it is related to any individual or an organization or an entity.
Okay. Yes, it's
Ma'am, it's
nothing
all
but
about
recording.
recording
Yeah.
day-to-day
Yes.
transactions in a
Correct. So it's nothing but recording your transaction in a systematic way, so that anytime you see what a transaction is being done in that particular day or that particular month or that particular week, you can easily look at your books. That will be, I mean, it is similar. You can just know what is account. So that accounts means nothing but recording all your transaction in a systematic way. So what does transaction means here then? Anyone? No one.
Transaction is a kind of like a business event which can be a monetary impact on an entity's financial states.
Okay. So you go to a shop. Okay, you buy something. Is that every shop you go, you give him, for example, you're giving him 2000 rupees. So you have found a very good item and you're buying that, you're giving him 2000 rupees. Is that every shop you see, you just go on giving 2000 rupees? No. Wherever you are buying something, maybe a top, and then you give that 2000 rupees to him. So there is something between you and the customer, sorry, you and the supplier. So what is there here? You are buying something from him, that is the reason you are paying him money. So that is nothing but transaction. So where there is exchange of monies or money's worth, there is nothing there must be some transaction, sales, purchase. So those are nothing but transactions. There, which are the types of accounts? Now don't tell me savings accounts, fixed deposit account and all.
Nominal account, real account,
Hmm. And
And ma'am, personal account.
very good. Good to know that you remember what you've studied in your 11th and 12th. So the three types of account: personal account, real account, and nominal account. So what is a personal account here? Anything related to a person. Okay, either it's a person name or a firm is a personal account. So if it's related to direct to a person, then it's a natural personal account. If it's related to a firm, it's a artificial personal account. What is real account? Anyone? You don't know the answer or you don't want to answer?
ma'am. Real accounts are related to assets and
Hmm. So real accounts are nothing but which are related to your assets and liabilities. Assets are your own properties. That I see, whatever, whenever I'm telling your, here means the business. That means I make a point, make in the position where you are the business, and whatever is, I mean, which is all related to you. So that is how I'll be addressing here. So whatever you whichever is yours, that is you own it, it's your asset. Which you are using it, you need to repay it, that is your liabilities. Okay. I'll just share my screen. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Okay, it's the basic why accountancy is required. Why is it being used? So, why is it used? Why do you need accounts in a business? See, why do you need accounts in a business is to know about your income and expenditure. See how much you are earning, like how many assets you are keeping, what liabilities you have, what is that you're gaining the profit or loss. So everything consists in a business. So to know all about that, accountancy is required. It is not that you just go on purchasing something and you don't have any sales, or you have complete sales but you don't purchase anything. So those and all to know how many sales, how many purchase, what amount of profit you have or loss or anything, to know all these accounts is required. So it says it is for your, also for your stakeholders. Well, who are these stakeholders here? All your, the third parties in your company are all your stakeholders, all your suppliers, your customers, your employees. Sorry. So all these, to involve them into the identification, it involves identifying business transaction, recording them in such a way that are important for your financial informations. Whom do you have to give the financial informations for yourself, which whenever it is supposed to be communicated, that is whenever you are supposed to answer all your third parties, your stakeholders, that time this is important. So that, so thus it can be said accounting in the language of business. So whatever which all computes all these into one is your accounting. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. The one yes or anything in the chat box. I want to know that you all are awake and not sleeping in my class. Is that clear? Or else from next class I'll start taking your names. If you don't answer me, I'll start taking your names, and then I'll start going on marking in the attendance. Just take this look. Why you, it's already known for you, we've already explained it. Just take one look. Why is it required? Why accounts? So there is two topic here. Can the business be expanded? So by seeing all your accounts, if you want to expand your business, if you want to take more branches of your business, or if you want to add on something in your business, or you want to remove any of your particular business, so those things can be easily known through your accounts. When you have maintained all your accounts, then it is easily known. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I told you about transaction. So there are two types of transaction, cash and credit. So immediately you pay through cash, it is called as cash transaction. You keep it for some days, or you take a date to pay the amount, and that's the credit transaction. Just go through it once. If you want to make some notes, keep making some notes. I will not be giving you the PowerPoints, because whatever is required, those things I'll be giving you. Anywhere I'm not audible, or if my screen has not been seen, please intimate so that it can be corrected. Give me a minute. Okay, I told you about asset. So asset refers to the properties or the things which is owned by a business, which is the amount due to the business from others. So it is nothing but where which is completely ours, or if somebody has to give it to us. Liability is where the business owes to the others. So that is liability. So we just make it into two classification, that is fixed assets and current assets. Fixed assets are those which are with you for a long duration, maybe your vehicles, furnitures, your stocks, cash. So those are all your um, the one which is there for a long duration is your fixed assets. Current assets are one which is there for a very short period. Cash in hand, cash in bank, like what it can be changed now and then. For example, if it's 1 lakh now, tomorrow it might be 2 lakhs or it might be 50,000. So those fluctuating assets, fluctuating things are called as, they come under current assets. Just go through this once. I've already explained you. The font is okay. So who is a debtor? Debtor is a person who owes money to the business. That means a person who has to return money to the business. The person who business has given money for return is a debtor. And who is a creditor? A creditor is a whom the um, okay. So then you have heard about suppliers and um, I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. My mic was on mute. What is the last thing I told? Did you hear about?
Creditors, ma'am.
We were in creditors. Okay. So creditor is a person whom the business owes money. That means the business needs to give money to that particular person. That is your suppliers. Why suppliers? I take the goods from the supplier and give him the amount. Correct. But when in the case of customer, what happens? So what is a customer here? Creditor. Who is the customer? So a customer is a debtor because he takes the goods and gives us the amount. So he's a um, debtor. Okay. So these are some of the things which I just explained you in some points. So just take down these points if you want. So stock is nothing but the unsold goods, the goods which you have bought, which is not yet sold and which is there in your company or warehouse, your go down. That's the stock. Is that clear? So next, so once your company, you have some transactions being done in your company, your purchase or your sales, what you do is you go on recording them in one particular thing, your first entry, that's called your journal. So journals are nothing but your first entry. Whenever you have your business transactions being recorded, you first record them in your um, journals. Then when it is required, maybe or in the end of the day or whenever it is required, you might have created, I mean, you must have created all your suppliers, your customers account. So those things, what you do is all these each journals, whatever is being created, you separate them into your that particular accounts, your final entry. That's nothing but your ledgers. So ledgers are called as the final entry. Why? Because once you have created your journal, those you record them, I mean you separate them and put them in your ledgers. So is it clear with ledger and journal? Okay. Anyone who can tell me about the accounting cycle, like how once you take your transaction, what next? One second, I've not shared my screen. Okay, anyone with the golden rules of accounts? Anyone? So for the real account, personal account, and nominal account. So here are the list what a real account is about: debit what comes in, credit what goes out. And for personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. One second. Just take a note if you're not aware of this, because I did not get any answer from either chat. I just told you to reply on the chat as well. Okay, on the accounting cycle, so what happens once you get your transactions? that will be recorded to your journal. As I told you, journal will be your first entry. So whatever transaction you have received, your purchase, sales, cash purchase, credit sales, whatever kind of transaction, your PT transactions, anything, those will be first into your journal accounts. Then to your ledgers. So those will be classified into each different accounts. Like for example, ABC account, as I told you about your personal account, real account, nominal. Okay, nominal account. I'll explain you further now. So those you will differentiate each person name or the firm name or the stock, whatever on base you have taken. So those will be differentiated and into those accounts that is called as the um, ledgers. So you differentiate them and put into your ledgers. Later, you will take a trial balance of all the ledgers being taken. Through those trial balance, you create into your profit and loss account, and then at the end is your balance sheet. That is how you um, tally your liabilities and your assets. So this is your accounting cycle. Just take down this in a cycle form. I missed the explanation of nominal account is what I feel. Okay. Nominal account is nothing but, for example, you earn your salary. So do you suspend your salary? So do you spend your salary? Yes, no. At least in yes and no, I can
Yes.
expect your yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So how is that you spend your salary? Hmm? So you go to a restaurant, you treat your friends,
Course,
so
no.
you pay the bill. Sorry. So you pay the bill there, correct? You treat your friends, your first salary, you're
Yes,
paying the
ma'am.
bill. How is that you're paying the bill? Through your salary. You write a salary in a slip and give it to them? Yes, you write salary, whatever amount salary is. No, what is that you give? Cash, correct? So when you, yes, money. But when you are receiving, you'll be in the terms of salary, correct? It will be termed as salary. But what is that you're getting? You're getting is the amount. So nominal account here is which is, it does fetch value but is not being seen. So it does, if you're not termed as I'm giving you money, take 50,000 and go, that is, it does not seem right. But when it says it's your salary, that has some weightage. So nominal account is something which fetches value, which is into your accounts, but in terms of different, like when whether it is salary, so interest paid, depreciation, appreciation. So those things we term it as nominal account. Is that clear? Just go through this once.
Yes, ma'am.
These are the general rules of accounts about your debit and credit, whatever I just told you, the golden rules. You're all aware of these topics are all known for you. As you're all into commerce field, it's already known. But I'm just giving you just brush up all the basic of accounts before going into the tally. This part clear? We done with assets, type of assets. No doubts in types of assets, fixed and current assets, they which are there with you for a long period, and the one which is the fluctuating is a current asset. So liability, which refers to the due from the business. So no doubts in assets and liabilities. That is your real account. So debit is nothing but the amount which is borrowed by the party from one to other. So I'm not basically telling you it is from your business or from others business. It is just the amount which is borrowed. And then you have bad debts. What are bad debts, anyone? What are bad debts?
Ma'am, the amount that cannot be recovered from our debtors.
Correct. The amount which is not recovered from the debtors is a bad debt. So what we do is whenever we have profit in the business, we keep one of the portion for bad debt. So in case we have a bad debt, we can compensate that from that particular account. What is doubtful debts? So doubtful debts are those which you may or may not get back. So even there might be chances that to turn into a bad debts, so that may not. So at that period, we also keep some of the reserve for doubtful debts, so that in case if it turns to bad debts, we will already be prepared for the debts. So that will be doubtful debts. It may or may not be recovered. Yeah, what is a solvent? Who is a solvent? Before that, what is dissolution of a company? All are commerce student, but I don't hear anybody answering
When
either in the chat.
liability is more than, ma'am, when liability is more than asset, then the company dissolve.
Okay. So only when liability is more, you dissolve. Dissolution is nothing but the closure of a company, a firm. Let's close the dissolution. At the time of dissolution, if your liability is less and your assets are more, for example, if you have taken from Mr. X, if you have taken 20 lakhs, and that the dissolution of your company at the time of dissolution, you see you have 30 lakhs of asset and your repayment is 20 lakhs, so the company is able to pay all the debt. So that is when it's a yes. So when you when you're able to recover your liabilities, that is when you are able to give that. For example, from Mr. X we borrowed 20 lakhs, but I have 30 lakh asset, so I am able to give the 20 lakhs, then I am a solvent. The business is a solvent when I can repay my liabilities. So when my asset is more than my liabilities, I am a solvent. So same vice versa, when a liability, that means, for example, I had taken 20 lakhs from Mr. X, but when I see my business has only 10 lakh of assets, so that time I am not able to repay my loans. So at that time I'm a insolvent. When my liabilities is more than my asset, I'm a insolvent. Is this part clear? Go
Yes,
through
ma'am.
this. Insolvent. I already told you about the journal and the ledger. So the term entry is nothing but the record of transaction which is made to the first time. First time when you do any of your entries, you term that as, I mean, when you do your transaction, we term that as entry. About the voucher, I'll be telling you when we go into a tally. So it's nothing but a receipt is nothing but an acknowledgement, which is acknowledgement of the money or any thing that you have taken the delivery, given the delivery. So on the basis of that, wherever it's a written in case here, even a printout, okay, it is not that handwritten. So that is a receipt, which is it's nothing but an acknowledgement. So what is the invoice? You have heard the word invoice. What is the invoice? You don't answer me. You don't nominate yourself an answer. I will take your name and you must be answering me. You've heard of a bill. What is a bill? So you go to a small shop, okay, you just ask him, you just buy some items from them, and then you ask for a bill. So what is that? In a petty shop, what they do is they just give you written like whatever you have bought, maybe it can be any product you have bought from them, and they give you the name of the product and the amount, the quantity, and the total price. So that's a bill. So when you go to a shop, okay, maybe a mobile phone, you want to buy a new mobile phone, you buy. So when you buy a mobile phone and you ask for a bill, they give you a bill. What is there in that bill?
Invoice
Information.
bill, ma'am.
Yeah, what is there in the invoice?
Information about the product, what you have
Mm,
purchased.
correct.
Details about the good.
Okay. Anybody to add on this? Product details, information about the product. Okay,
Price of
quantity
the
of
good.
goods, price of the good.
Price.
Then that's all. Date of purchase, company name.
Company name or the stamp or seal, ma'am. Seal of the
Yes,
company.
good. Then address. What is
Sometimes
that?
they put
The amount of tax to be imposed.
Good. So you also have the tax, whatever GST they have applying for that product. Okay, then. So address okay, name of the product okay, about the product okay, quantity okay, GST tax okay. Then what else have you observed? What else is there in the invoice? Date of purchase okay, invoice number okay. So have you also seen about warranty guarantee of the products? Is that been seen?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, they also give you a card if there is guarantees, warranties in the product. So now I want anyone to tell me what is the difference between a guarantee and warranty. Are both same? Guarantee of a product, warranty of a product is both same. So this, take this as an assignment in tomorrow's class. You must be able to answer me, whomever I ask. Okay, so invoice is nothing but a standardized bill. So where you have complete information about the product, complete details about the product or the belonging of the products are in a invoice. So basically in tally, in accounts, what we do is invoice, so that everything in detail we will have, and whenever we want to go through that, it will be easily understood. Go through this. Take down bill. Invoice is a standardized bill. Is this too clear? Bill and invoice, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is a gross profit? See, as it is all your known topics and you are already aware of these, whatever points we are going through today, I mean now is all your known topics, I am questioning you. Or else I will be giving you the details and you will be taking them. Give me 1 second. Okay, so from next class, when we start with tally where you're not aware of, I'll be asking you the questions, but not in the same class, but in the next class. Maybe if I've given you some okay, so narration is nothing but after the journal, below the journal, whatever you give about the journal, like what being purchased, what being sales, what. So about a short, that is a brief discrimination, what you give on the journal is a narration. So profit and loss account, which shows all your profits. Yes, coming to this, what is a gross profit means? Anyone?
Profit, which is after deducting the cost, limited gross profit.
Yes. So gross profit is nothing but the first, like for example, if you have um one X product which you have bought for 20 rupees and you are selling that for 30 rupees. So what total amount you have, for example, if it's 3000 rupees, that is your gross profit. So initially what profit you have earned is your gross profit. Later what you do is you deduct your traveling charge or TADAs and all, and then what, for example, after removing all that, you have your amount is 2500. So that is your net profit. So you deduct all your losses, you deduct all your expenditures. If there are some incomes, you add the incomes, then that is your net profit. Is that clear? You want the notes in net profit and gross profit? One second. Yeah. Is my screen clearly visible? You want me to, the font is visible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Just what amount, what cost price is and what selling price is, that is all consist of a gross profit. It does not include anything else here. Then your net profit. Okay, so income is nothing but which is received towards the services rendered to others. So whatever you have given services, though whatever you have um, incurred to your business is the income which you have received. Same way expenditure, it is nothing but what you have spent. So it might be towards anything, but if you have spent, then it's your expense. Trial balance is nothing but closing balances of the ledgers except closing stock for the specific date, whichever date you are doing your trial balance. Apart from that stock of that particular date, the stall will be into your trial balance. Just go through these one sentence. They're all your known topics. I'm just giving you a brief on them. Same way, profit and loss account, which contains complete your reports of your purchase, expense, income, all the other ledgers. So financial year, April 1st to 31st of March, the complete one period. Even here in Tally, we will be working on the financial period wise, where the answer you get or whatever, it will be basically on this financial period only, the financial year, that is 1st of April to 31st of March. So as different country has different financial years, when we are into one particular that as it takes as India, the financial year automatically shows. But when you are into, if you're taken into different countries, as different countries are different financial periods, you can just use them. But as of now, you will not require any of the other financial year. Even if you are using any other account, you will be creating your company here. So you just, it will just convert to your financial year 1st to 31st of March only. I already told you about this. Just take a sundry creditors. Okay. So any doubts in whatever topics we did till now? The basic topics. You also have taken one points. At least one yes, no message, something you can do it from your side, is it? So that I understand I'm audible, or you are able to listen, you're able to understand. So there are some accounting assumptions. There are some accounting assumptions. I'm so sorry. One second. So accounting entity assumption, where it says the business and the proprietor are treated as two separate entities. The business transactions are separate from its owner's personal transaction. So when I have my personal transaction to be done, I will not be taking that as a business transaction, which must be, which is completely my personal transaction, whether it is with the business, or I mean with my personal things, or with my um, firm. If it is not inside a business transaction, then that will not be including in the business transaction. That will be the personal transaction. In other words, only business transactions are recorded here. This means wherever only the purchase, sales, credit, debit of a business, that is, which is related to a business, only those will be recorded in this in a business transaction. So next is the accounting period assumption, where it says that the essential for a business to close its books of accounts at a regular intervals. So whether it's a Jan to December or April to March, you can keep yours as into your particular interval, whether you want that either from Jan to December you take your books of accounts, or you take it as April and March, but that must be closed so that you will have a record on what is exactly happened in the business. So next is the going concern. Any points you want to take down? Is this, am I fast? Did you understand this? At least one make a point telling yes, no, or a message. Every time I have to ask
Yes.
you. Yes. Okay, next you have is the going concern assumption. It is assumed that the entity will exit for a longer period. So what does this assumption means is, whenever we are creating a new company, we always make one sure that it is for a long period. It is not that in 2-3 months we'll be closing the company. So always the assumption of a business
Continue.
is, yes, always the assumption of a business is that a business is for a longer period. So in for a future only we will be assuming that if this happens now and then for future, this is all we will be adding in our business. So that is how a assumption must be there when it is for a company. According to the accounts will be maintained with the assumption of not to close the operation of the business in future. Same thing what I told. Money measurement assumption. Only those business transactions that can measure only in terms of money are recorded. So in this assumption, what happens is only the recording, that is your transactions, which are related only to the money that is being recorded. Accrual concepts. So some of the accounting concepts, that is first one, accrual concept. The transactions are recorded on the basis of income earned and expenses incurred, irrespective of actual receipt or actual payment. So here what happens is, however the transaction is, whether it is onto your incomes or your losses, however they are, the transaction are being recorded in the these wise, whether they are earned or whether they are whether they are income or expense. Only these two part will be seen. There may not be like what is the actual receipt, that is whether we are actually receiving this much, or whether we are just for example, if I am receiving a stock of 10, number 10, what happens, they might be giving me two for free, but what I'll be taking is what is there, the what income I have, what expense I have paid for the particular goods, that will be taken into account and not the actual receipt. So this is what the actual concept is. So dual accept concept is, every financial transaction has two accepts, where the business receives the benefit, where the business provides the benefit. So when I am receiving a benefit, that is the business, whether it is a benefit, here the profit and loss is not the concept. Here it is the benefit for the company, whether I will be whether this will be useful in future. The same way, when I am receiving some benefits, I provide some benefits so that I receive more benefits in future. So that is what this concept says about. Just take a look before I go further. Is this clear? Next, full disclosure concept. It explains that the financial records of a business concern gives a true and a fair view of the firm or the financial position, where there will be complete disclosure, where what is the exact income, or what is the exact expense being done in the company. The complete financial position of a company will be disclosed in this particular concept. Next, historical concept, cost concept. This states that the assets shall be recorded at the same value at which they were being acquired, and not for the current market value. For example, here in this concept, what happens, I have bought for a stock of 1 lakh rupees for my business, which was there in my unsold goods, that is in my stock. But for now, that particular cost is being increased. Maybe you can take an example of your steel. So now, before there was decrease of steel amount, maybe at that time I have bought steel to my company and I have preserved it, but it was in my stock, and now the value has increased, but I do not record the current market value. That is, for example, if it is increased by, it was 1 lakh value, now it is 1,50,000, but I record it as 1 lakh only. At this concept, we take whatever was there in our, at the time when we bought the goods, what value we had at that particular, the same, will be applied in this particular concept. Verifiable and objective evidence concept. This concept requires that all the financial transactions be supported with documentary evidence. This means here at this particular concept, what happens, everything is required of an invoice, a bill, or any of the transaction. Like if you are, even if you are paying any one amount, that must be recorded. If you have deposited some amount in the bank, that is with the evidence. So everything is being supported. So at this concept, what happens, anytime anyone checks about your financial position, everything is clearly there with your proof, that is with your evidence at this particular concept. So next you have is the matching concept. Just take this look. Are you understanding? Is it clear? Am I fast? Or the face is right? You're understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And just take this look. You want, you can just take down the points. You don't have to take down the full thing. Just take down the points. Okay. Next one. Cost benefit principle. The cost incurred. So now we're done with the assumptions. We did with the concept, and next the principles. So the cost incurred for applying an accounting principle should be lesser than the profit derived from doing so. So what does this mean? It is nothing but whenever I am selling something, I make a point that it no, I think I missed this. Did you hear? Was I audible when I was explaining these two? No, no.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, my screen also was not shared, I believe. Okay. So cost benefit, the cost incurred for applying an accounting principle should be lesser than the profit derived from doing so. So whatever you are making a rule, such accounting where you are supposed to um, So it should not be, that must be lesser than the profit which you have got into your business. For example, if you have got 10 rupees, you will not go higher than 9 rupees. So it must not go more than the profit which you have. It should, that means which you must get the profit to your business. So materiality principle, as per this, all the information that is disclosed in the financial statement should aid the interested parties in arriving at the decisions. So what happens here is the information which is supposed to be disclosed either to your all the partners must be there when you are giving this particular disclosure of the financial statement. So this is what the principle says. So consistency principle, the accounting parties followed for one financial year should not vary from those to the previous years. For example, if 2019, 2020 you have gone through one particular rules, and for now 2021 you do not change the particular rules. So the same thing, same rules must be now 2021, 22 you do not change your rules. It must be as in the previous whatever financial year you have done, in that the consistency must be there, and that is what the principle says. Next, the prudence principle says uncertainty is involved, uncertainty is involved in the operation of the business. It requires that the business may problem. So everything, the whatever the uncertainty you have in the business which might occur, so everywhere we have all the provisions made. That is what this particular principle says. So when it says documents in a business, so what are the documents? Like when we say we have the documents in the business, so what documents consist? What document here in the business is of? That is the bill and invoice, check, credit note, debit note, receipt, and vouchers. So these are all the documents in a account. These are all the sources of documents. That means when we can produce something, when we have a evidence, when we have proof, though these are the documents for the um, whatever we, whenever we need to provide, when we need to provide it to our shareholders or we need to give it to the partners, everything can be done through this. So these are some of the set of the documents. So just take the common source of documents, take down note. Is this clear with everyone? The sources of documents. This is what I explained you
Yes.
earlier. Just take this look. I explained you this earlier. Any notes you want to take, you're not aware of, just take them. What is the difference between a salary and a wages? So this will also be your assign. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, you just asked for the salary and wages, so I was just giving the answer. salaries on a monthly basis, whereas wages are given for the laborers on a daily wage.
Good. Anyone? So take it as an
Salaries
assignment. Tell me.
and wage is for daily wage, or it is based on hourly base.
Okay. So salary is also given to the work being done. Wages is also be given to the work being done. Then why are they termed differently? Only because they are given monthly, and salary also can be given weekly. They can be given fortnight. They can be given monthly. They can be given 3 months once.
Salary is given to the employees and wages to the workers or laborers.
Okay. See, whatever
Depends on the hour.
whatever all three of you told is right. I'm not telling you you're wrong. But I'm asking is why is being this two different terms? See, even
Ma'am,
salary is being
salary
given
is
weekly.
fixed. Ma'am, salary is fixed, whereas wages can vary depending on the work.
Okay. But then you do OT, you get extra. Here also wages also you get extra. Salary also you get extra.
And ma'am, also wages is direct expense, whereas salary is indirect expense.
Okay. Good. In terms of accounts you're talking. Huh? Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is one small point which I've told you, which in tomorrow's class I'll be asking you about whatever 4 5 of you told is everything right. I'm not telling that you are wrong. So I want more points on it. That's all. Okay. Whatever we did in today's class, everybody understood? Any doubts you have? I want it to be an interactive class. It cannot be one-way class. Whenever, especially when it comes to practicals, when I do one, you do not talk and you don't get my whatever I have done the practicals, and you don't get the same practicals, same answer in your system. That means you're doing something wrong. And if you are not interactive, if you do not come out with your doubts, if you do not answer me, and then it's of no use. See, now you're learning these all the extra courses is for your job. So they are some, these are some which directly it is affecting your job. Like you tell them they know, you know Tally, and then they ask you a few questions on Tally, and you will have one extra cherry on top on your resume telling you know this, and the companies which requires this, easily you may get through. But only that, only when you are aware of only having a certificate, only having the name in your resume is not enough. You also must have the knowledge of what you are writing into your resume. So that is what is very important, and I want you to practice. I want you to do whenever I'm doing the immediate thing or whatever assignments I give you. So all these must be done in the classes, and I want it to be an interactive class. I don't want, it is not that I'll be scolding you or I'll be taking your names or whatever it is. It is nothing like that. This is not your regular classes. So I want you to be interactive. I want you to attend the classes. That is because this particular course is very important for you in your future. So only when you know complete of Tally, as I told you, one class is linked with the second class. So you miss one class, you miss the complete portion, and the second class when you're attending, you will not have idea about what exactly is going on. So you will, maybe you will require some time in the class to get through the previous class. So that instead of that, it is better whatever number, it's just 30 hours of class. So that is what you have to attend. So do not miss any of your classes. And one more thing, I'm repeating it again, please log in with your complete name in the whenever you're joining the meeting, because it will be easier for me to put your attendance. Or else if I do not find your complete name, I will be not be asking who is that, who's and all. You will just be at put as absent. So whatever number of classes you've attended, you will put absent, where you will not be able to take examination after the course. So is this part clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And today was just a theory class, no practical, nothing we had, because it was only basic of accounts. So whatever tally is, which starts from tomorrow's class. So we'll be going with little of theory in the class about tally, and then about the practicals. Once we start with the practicals, we'll be doing only practicals. In between the shortcut keys or any points I need to give you, I'll be giving you, which you need to take down. But take down writing down is also very important, so that you do not miss the shortcut keys or any of the practical thing I tell you. Is that clear? So we can wind up the class for today.
Ma'am, just wanted to ask you, the recording here, how can we access the recording here, ma'am?
Good question. I forgot to tell you about it. See, in YouTube, you have a channel called NICT Education, NICT Computers Education. So through that, you will have the, we'll be uploading the recording there, and you can go through that. We will be sharing it tomorrow. That is the next class. Whatever we had it today, previous class, and the next day you will get it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have to worry about the software. I'll also show you how to download it. In tomorrow's class, you can download it, and whenever however I'm showing it, you can download it. You don't worry about the software. Okay, class. See you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. 3 to 4:30, Monday to Friday will be your class. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.